Today's daf is daf Yud Daled. We are going to begin Yud Gimel Amud Beis. Omar Mar. Omar Mar, the Brisa said, Kishihizik. When somebody damages, when an animal, we learned yesterday, when an animal or item that one is responsible to guard causes damage, so the halach is Chov Hamazik, the one chayev for the damage, is obligated to pay. So simply it means that when somebody damages and it was his responsibility to guard that object, the damage, he has to pay for the damage. Now the Brisa said a very funny expression, Lahavi Shemer Chinam. This comes to include a Shemer Chinam, which means a Shemer that is doing this for free. It's an unpaid guardian. V'hashayel, and a borrower. Neisa Sachar, which means a guardian that charges. V'haseich, and a renter. Now, what does that mean? That means that if a Shemer Chinam, a Shayel, a Neisa Sachar, and all these things, the animal damages in the Rishos. Neisa Sachar is a Shemer Chinam, Shemer Sachar. Yeah. So that's the Arba Shemerim. So you have the Shemer Chinam is the unpaid guardian, you have the borrower, you have the paid guardian, and the Seicher, the renter. Now, what happens when they damage? In the Rishos they have to pay. It's very unclear what that means. What does that mean in practical terms? That's what the Gemara wants to know. What does that mean in practical terms? So let's take an example. Ilema the aske teira the mashal, the teira the shale. Let's say like this. Let's say that the shale, the ox of the borrower, the mashil, now damages the ox of the shale. So you have Reuven is the mashil, is the lender. Shimon is the shale. Shimon goes to Reuben and says, I have one ox. I need a second ox to do work. Can I borrow your ox? Sure, borrow it. He's a shayl, he's a borrower. What happened? He puts them both in the same pen, and now the mashil's ox gangs up on the shayl's ox and damages him. So what are you going to say? If you're going to say that the share of the mashil damages the share of the shayl, so why is the mashal? So what are you saying? That the mashal, the lender, is chayav for the damage, even if it happened in the rishos of the shayl. Why? So the Gemara says, "Le malay, let the mashal tell the shayl." Right? What happened? The shayr hamashal damaged the share of the shayl. So why is the mashal? Why is he chayav? He did a favor to the guy. He lent him the ox. So what happened? Lei malei, let the mashal tell the shayl, ilu azik ba'alma. If my shur would have damaged, let's say, somebody else's shur. You took the shur, you borrowed the shur, and now your shur, just in practical terms, whoever's watching, practical terms, let's say use cars over here. Okay? So, in practical terms, let's say, let the mashal tell the shayl, you went ahead and you took, you borrowed my ox. If my ox, let's say, would have not damaged your ox, my ox that you borrowed would have damaged Yenim's ox, somebody else. So what would he say? Boys l'shlumi at. Let the mashal say, ilo azik ba'alma. If my shur, which you borrowed, would have damaged somebody else, boys l'shlumi at. You would have to pay for the nezik. Why? Because you're a shayl, you're the borrower, and you took full responsibility for it. So Hashta the askik l'ter didach. Now what happened? You got messed over. You borrowed the shur. It's your responsibility to make sure that my shur is guarding. Never them. My shur damaged your shur on your watch. So now I have to pay for it. You were a pesheya. You messed up. It's your fault. So we're trying to understand, what does it mean lahavi? Let's say the shayl. What's the case? If the lenders, the mashals, ox damage the shayl's ox in the rishus of the shayl, so why should the mashal be responsible? The mashal can tell the shayl, had the ox been in somebody else's, had the ox, my ox, which is now in your domain, damage a third party, you would be responsible because it's on you to guard. Ella, rather, what's the case? The aski teira the shayl, the teira the mashal. What, the other way around? That the shayl is chayiv when it damages. What happened? He borrowed it, and now he got jealous. The shayl's ox got jealous and gored the mashal's ox. He wanted to show that he's stronger. He gored the mashal's ox. So why is the shayl chayiv? Why? Because we know a shur tam right? When it comes to nezek, let's say negicha, a shor tam always pays the first 3 times chatzi nezek. So leimalei, let the mashal tell the shayol ilu itzik ma'alma. If my shor would have got damaged through another shor, you would have to pay the full nezek. Why? Because we know a shayel is chayiv even b'inus. So the mashal could tell the shayel, your ox damaged my ox, so usually you pay a chatzi nezek. But if, let's say, my ox that you borrowed would have got hurt by another ox, the ox that you borrowed, what? Yeah, the ox that you borrowed would have gotten hurt by somebody else. You would have to pay a nezek shalom. So hashka the aski ter didach. Now that your shur was the one that damaged, palka niski hudam shamtali. You think I only want to get paid a half? You have to pay for the full thing. So either way you look at it, if it's the mashal that damaged the shayl, you have a problem. If it's the shayl that damaged the mashal, right, you have a problem. So what does the Brisa mean by saying lahavi the shayl? So the Gemara says like this: la'olam the aski ter the mashal, ter the shayl. Really, it's the ox of the lender that damaged the ox of the borrower. Now, you had a question that the mashal should be potter. Why? Since the shayl is chayiv to guard the animal, so he should have made sure that his animal that he borrowed should have not damaged his own animal. So he says, here we're dealing with that the shayl, he took on responsibility that he is going to guard the guf of the shayla mashal. He's going to make sure that nothing happens to him, that nothing's going to be damaged. Now, if you dalid. Now, v'loy kibul shmiras nezakav, but he did not go ahead and accept the shmira. He did not go ahead and undertake the responsibility of the safeguarding the lender's ox, v'loy kibul of shmiras nezakav, to prevent it from causing damage. Now, accordingly, the lender remains now responsible for his ox as it caused damage to the borrower's ox that the lender is chayiv. Why? Because in this case, he says, I'm taking achrayis on shmiras gufay. Like Rashi says, shalayazi kenu acher. I'm going to make sure that that somebody else doesn't damage
the borrowed ox.
The borrowed ox. Like kibalo shmiras nezakav im yazik hu es acherim. What is he saying? I made sure that no one's going to damage him, but to be a balabas of your animal that he's not going to damage other, I didn't take the responsibility. So, if that's really true, if so, ema seifa. Look at the seifa of the brisa. Nifratza balayla. What happened? The brisa says if the mechitza now gets pierced open, it breaks open at night with an einis, or you should list them, or let's say robbers came in and broke the walls. Now robbers came, broke the fence. They wanted to steal. They come. They broke the fence. They see an ox. They run away. And now this ox is great. He's loose and he goes and damages. Potter. So the halacha is the shamer is potter. Why? Because the shamer is potter from. He's an einus. So Fred the Gemara, which is mashma by yom. If this happened by day, chayiv. The shamer is chayiv. Now Fred the Gemara. But he did not go ahead and take on that. It will not damage other people. So why is he chayiv? So the Gemara says, Hachikam. This is what the Brisa means to say. Even if he takes on the shmira, not that he shouldn't damage, and now the shur of the mashal went and damaged others, chayiv. The shemer is chayiv. But if it's a balayla, shapur to list him, that will be potter. Now, and what's the chiddush? Like the Maharsha explains, the chiddush of the Brisa is that he accepted the shmira, not only that the shir and mashal should not damage, but also it will not go and damage other people. Okay, so now the Gemara is going to go back. The Gemara is going to go back when we said yesterday, according to Rabbi Lazar, that the Gemara is going back now. We said according to Rabbi Lazar, when you have, let's say, a chotzer of shutfim, you have a courtyard of partners. So if there's a damage of shen v'regel, we said yesterday, Rabbi Lazar's opinion that each partner is potter from liability for any damage that falls within the category either of shein, which we said, and regel. It's either trampling or eating that their ox caused the other party's property. So like this, both have reshus to be in it's a chotzer shutfim. And one of the ox that belonged to, let's say, one of the partners came and trampled or eating, so he caused a damage in the property. So the halacha is, according to Rabbi Lazar, shein v'regel b'chotzer shutfim is pater. That's the din we learned yesterday. Frag the Gemara, Eini, is this so? But Rabbi Yosef says, chotzer shutfim v'hapundik. It says property of a shutfim v'hapundik and an inn. Chayev b'hen al shein v'regel. It is chayev for shein v'regel. Tufta to Rabbi Lazar. This is mamish a refutation to Rabbi Lazar. So Amalach Rabbi Lazar said, "B'tizbera." How can you understand that the Brisa provides this tiyufta? Masniyasa miloi pligi. Are there not Brises that disagree with regards to this issue? That Reb Shimon ben Elazar would state 4 principles with regards to the chiyuv incurred based on where the damage occurs. He says, with regards to any location that is in the property of the injured party and is not in the property of the one who's liable for the damage, so the owner of an animal that causes the damage is chayiv for all the damage caused there. And the mazik v'leila nizik. If a place is the property of the one chayiv for the damage, and not the property of the one injured party, so then pater mikol, the owner of the animal that causes damage, is pater for all the damage caused there. Right? So that's what he says. He says that. So the first thing is, we said 4 klalis that kol shur reshus, any place which is reshus only for the nizik to go in there, the one who got damaged, v'loila mazik, and not for the mazik to go in there. So chayev bakel. So he's chayev for everything. In other words, even a keren, which is a tam, has to pay nezik shalom. Why? Because the mazik had no reshus to be there. That's number 1. Number 2 is the mazik. If it had reshus for the mazik to be there, v'loila nizik, then pater mikol. Why? Because the nizik wasn't allowed to go there. Third case, lazeh ulazeh, if both the mazik and the nizik had reshus to be there. Could go in, for example, chotzer shutfim, either a chotzer shutfim, vehabika, or let's say a valley, a place where where oxen graze over there. So pater ba'al shein v'al he's pater from shein and regel. Why? Because it's not, the Torah says stay acher, so it's not miyuchad for the nizik. But when it comes to negicha, let's say goring, negifa, and pushing, neshich, and biting, v'aravitza, and v'alabita, like kicking, and which are a keren, it's a keren and the tool of keren. So tom mishalim chatzi nezek, and a mud mishalim nezek shalim. Why? Because it's a din in every keren b'shus rabim. Now, number 4, loy lazeh v'loy, if nobody had reshus to go there, for example. It was a chotzer that didn't belong to any of them. So the one who made the damage is chayiv v'shein v'regel. But negicha, neshicha, negifa, v'alaritz, v'alabita, tam misham chatzi nezek. A tam will pay chatzi nezek, and mud misham nezek shalim. Now, so this is a long brisa. What do we see from this brisa? Ketani miyas comes out from the brisa is that we learned the third case is chotzer ashutfin ve'habiko. When you have a chotzer ashutfin and a biko, pater bala shein v'regel. It's pater for shein v'regel. So now, so what do I see from it? And Rabbi Lazar holds like this brisa who argues on what Rabbi Yosef said. So you're thinking about shein v'regel is pater. Rabbi Lazar, what did we say before? We said that Rabbi Lazar holds that shein v'regel b'chotzer shutfim is pater. Frekta Shaila, I have a steer of the brisa that says you're chayiv. So he says, yeah. So the cheda, we have a steer that says you are chayiv. So he says, I hold like this brisa. Chotzer shutfim abika pater shein v'regel. So Rabbi Lazar holds like this brisa, which argues on the brisa of Rabbi Yosef. So the Gemara now says, Ramis, you can answer the 2 brises, they don't argue. Why? Kashin adadi. The brises contradict yourself. Why? Because one brisa says that shein v'regel is chayiv in a chotzer of shutfim. And the second brisa says they're pater. So he says, Kitanya hi, this the brisa says that you're pater v'shen v'regel by a chotzer of shutfim is b'chotzer miyuchedes l'zelazeh. It's when it's distinct side for the mazik and side for the nizik that they're shutfim. Bain lepedes ben l'shvarim, whether to bring in their chotzer so they can bring in fruit and they can bring in oxen. So it has a din of reshus rabim, and shein v'regel is pater and karen is chayiv. Hahi, the Rabbi Yosef, the price of Rabbi Yosef, which says shein v'regel is chayiv b'shutfin, is b'chotzer miyuchedes lepedes. It's talking about a chotzer which is miyuched for peres, And ve'enim yuchedes l'shvarim. So you're not allowed to bring oxen over there. It's a garden. The lagabe shein, in regards to shein and regel, have the chotzer nizik. It's the chotzer of the nizik. And since the nizik had reshus to put his fruit over there, and the mazik was also to go there, so therefore he's chayav for shein v'regel. Where answers dekanami, you could be medayik from the brayso. So what does it say? The Tani Hacha, it says that when shein v'regel is chayav in the chotzer shutim, what does it say? Chotzer shutim v'apundik. Dum yed the pundik. That has to. It's similar to a pundik, which means it's like a hotel. And a hotel, hopefully you don't bring your behemoths over there. So when we say chatzar hashutfim, means it's miyuchedes the peiros and not for shvarim. So as it didn't, so therefore it's in the reshus of the nizik. Right. Uktani hasam and the braysa, which explains the niski shem v'regel chatzar hashutfim, which is pater. So what does it say? Chatzar hashutfim v'habika. So you say dumi debika. That everybody can go and, just like a bika, everybody can go and graze over there. So chotzer v'chutin, which is miyuchet for shvarim, has a din of reshus harabim, which is pater shen v'regel. So shma mina, that's the difference between the brises and there's no stira. Frag the Gemara maskula Reb Zeda says, kiv and the miyuchet is the peiros, since the chotzer is miyuchet for peiros, so how could you be mechayev for shen v'regel? Ha ba'inon, we have another problem. You have, as we said a few times, ubir b'stei acher. It says that the nezek has to be b'stei acher and not in the chotzer of the mazik. Veleka, and you don't have it over there. Why? Because the chotzer is shayach to the mazik. So Amalei Abai says, Kivon, the enim yuchedes shvarim. Since this chotzer is not distinct for shvarim and for the mazik, he cannot bring his shur over there. Stei acher krinim, but that I call stei acher. Okay, now the Gemara is going to explain that just like you can explain the brises that they do not argue. You can also explain Rabbi Chisda and Rabbi Lazar that they're not arguing. We had a machlekes nafid gimel shein v'regel is chay b'chatzar shutfin. So Amalei Bava Kamah Daf levina lema. So maybe you could say the masnisan loy pligi, the fact that the brises, as we explained, that there's two different types of chatzar shutfim. So Amaroi nami loy pligi. Maybe you could say that the Amarayim also don't argue. Rather, Rabbi Chisda is dealing with a chatzar which they is joined only for peiros and not for shvarim, and has a din of the nizik that you're chayav for shen v'regel. And Rabbi Lazar is talking about chatzar shutfin for peiros and for shvarim, which has a din of reshus harabim. So Amalei Ravina says you could say that the Amoraim argue. Ravina answers or you could say that they do not argue in the chatzar shutfin, rather only in the chatzar micheles the peiros and not for shvarim. And they're arguing in the svara of Reb Zeda in the question that Abaya asked him. For example, which means Rabbi Lazar holds like the answer of Reb Zeda that the chatzar is considered like a reshus harabim. Why? Because the mazik has reshus to go there for the shem peiros, so therefore it's part of a shem v'regel. And if Chisda is going to hold like the tiras of Abaya, that this chatzar is considered like a reshus hanizik, and since the mazik was also to go in there, so therefore he's chayav for shein v'regel. But the chatzar, which was miyuchet for peiros and shvarim, everybody's going to agree that it's a din of reshus harabim, and therefore in reshus harabim you're pater for shein and regel. Okay, the Gemara is going to go now goes back to the brayso of Shimon Elazar. The Gemara says, Gufa, we had a brayso. Arba klal Yisrael of Shimon Elazar, Eimer ben Zokni. He said four different klalim. Number one, he said, Kol shur reshus the nizik v'lei mazik. Any time that the nizik had the one who got damaged had reshus to be there, but not the mazik, not the one who made the damage. Chayav akoil, the mazik is chayav for everything. Now, the Gemara says when it says al hakoil, when it says chayav for everything, it's mashma, it's chayav in all obvious nizikin. Sorry, when you say chayav al hakoil, it's mashma that the chayav of all the obvious nizikin like tani. Elo chayav bakoil. So it's mashma that the chiddush is, but the chatzar of the nizik that the mazik is chayav. Bekula nezik, even if usually you're chayav for half a nezik. Like for example, like we said by a keren you're chayav for half. So for the Gemara Mani, who is the Tana like? Tarfin. So the Gemara says Reb Tarfin. This is going to be like Reb Tarfin. This is later on the Chav Dalan and base. The Amar, he said Mishuna keren, and the hezek of a keren of behem is different. The chatzar nizik. In the chatzar the nizik, then that din, even though keren usually pays a chatzi nizik, over here will be nizik shalim mishalim. So the Gemara says, Ema Sefer, let's look at the Sefer of the Brisa. A chatzar which is not shayach loylazeh, v'loylazeh, so what's the din? Gegoyin, chatzar sheni shel shneim. So halacha is, chayav al Hashem v'ayel, you're chayav for both. So now the Gemara says, the Gemara explains, and then the Gemara is going to ask a question. So, for the Gemara, my loylazeh v'loylazeh, what does it mean that it's not, no reshus not here, not there? If it means not at all, el da'acher, it means somebody else, and the nizek now put his peiros shlei b'rishus, and then the shade of the mazik came and started eating it up. So you need that it went ahead and damaged in the stay of the other field. In other words, in the sada of the nizik. But like over here, he didn't go in the sada of the nizik, he went into somebody else's sada. Elapshita must be what does that mean? It's not shaykh to both elachad, it's shaykh to one. Who is that one? The nizik. So the Gemara says, now, so the question is, Viktani Seifa, what would the Seifa say? Tam mishalim chatzi nezik, that a shir tam pays a chatzi nezik, umud mishalim nezik shalim, and then the mud pays a half a nezik. So now, asol rabbanon, now you have, you come to the sheet of the chachamim who argue on Reb Tarfon, the Amri Mishuna Karen Mechatza Nizik, that the keren usually of the nizik it's different over here. The chatzi nezik, who the mishalim, you only pay a chatzi nezik. Now, what comes out? If you say that the klal of the brisa is like Reb Tarfon, so it comes out that Reishik Reb Tarfon, the ratio of the first brisa will come out like Reb Tarfon, and the seifa of that brisa will be like the Rabbanan. So Gemara says, yes. The ratio is Takal Reb Tarfon, and the Sefer is Dasa Chachamim. Why? The Amar Reb Shmuel, Reb Yehuda, Shmuel told Reb Yehuda, Shina, which means like the Talmud Chacham, who's Mechudad, it's very sharp, Shveig Masnisin, which means leave the Mishnah, the Ta'ah Brisa, and come after the Brisa like me, Reish Reb Tarfon, and the Sefer is Rabbanon. So it comes out that the Brisa of the 4 klalim is not 4, but it's a klal rishon. And the 4th one is dealing with a chatzar shutfim, and the first one is shittas Reb Tarfon, and the 4th one is shittas chacham. Now the Gemara brings another way to answer. Ravina Mishmei Rav Amar, he says kula Reb Tarfon. No, the entire brayso is Reb Tarfon. Omai loy lazeh v'loy lazeh. What does it mean loy lazeh by the klal revi? Doesn't mean that it's not a chatz. Doesn't mean that it's not a chatz. It doesn't belong. It doesn't mean that it only belongs to the nizik. Loy lazeh v'loy lazeh means that they're not a shutav in the pairs. Ela dechad. It means that the nizik is allowed to bring the peiros, but lazeh shvarim. In other words, the nizik is allowed to bring only the peiros, but in regards to shvarim, they both could bring. L'gabi shein, in regards to shein, have a chachar nizik. It's like the chachar the nizik, because he could bring in the peiros over there. L'gabi keren, in regards to keren, have a later shusarabim, and a keren, which is a tam, is chayav according to Reb Tarfon and a chatzi nizik. If so, if you're touching this up, arba, there's not 4 klalim, there's only shleisha. You have the first 3, and the 4th one is not a chiddush, because we said the gabe shein, it's considered like a chatzor, the rishus nizik, and we explained that the first one, sheshein is chayav b'chatzor nizik, in regards to keren, it's considered like a chatzor, rishus rabim, and we already said that a keren is chayav rishus rabim. So Amar of Nachman Bar Yitzchak, he said, Shloisha klalis, I have 3 klalim. In other words, which is chatzar mazik, chatzar nizik, and chatzar shutzim, which are 3 general rules. Bava Kamah is in 4 places. In regards to shen v'regel, the din is rishus nizik, and the gabe keren is a din in rishus rabim, which is rishus, which is miyuchet for both, and only for the nizik and the peiros. Okay, that's adkan. Nair Mishnah, new Mishnah. The Mishnah is going to explain the tashlumi nezik, and going to explain 8 dinim now. First of all, shum kesef. When you evaluate the damage, you have to evaluate the damage with money. And the Gemara is going to explain exactly what that means. You have to evaluate with money. Shava kesef, the mazik has to pay the damage, which are shava kesef, which means like karka. Like, we're going to see what that means in the Gemara. Bifnei Beis Din, in front of Beis Din, the Gemara is going to explain what this Mishnah means. Al pi edim, you cannot be mechayev the mazik only in front of edim, that they testify that there was a mice of hezik. Bnei choyrin, and edim need to be bnei choyrim, not avadim, or bnei bris, they have to be yidden. V'nashim bechlal nezik, and nashim are part of nezik. If one damages the money of a woman, or let's say the money of a woman damages somebody else, chayiv, you have to pay. And there's some times that even the nizik has to pay the tashlum of the nezik. In other words, that the mazik doesn't pay all the nezik. So you have like this. You have shum kesef. We'll see what that means. You have shava kesef, bifnei beis din, al pi edim, bnei chayrin, bnei bris, noshim b'chal nezik, v'nizik v'mazik v'tashlum. That's 8. Okay. So now it's a very how do you say, very, the opposite of clear, very cryptic, right? Very vague, thank you. Very vague Mishnah. So the question is, what's going on over here? So he says like this. My shum kesef. What does the Mishnah mean by saying shum kesef? This says, shum zeh, evaluation, when the Beis Din evaluates the damage, lo yeh ele bekesef. You have to value it with money and not with something else. Tanin lahadu tanar rabbanan. We learned in the Mishnah what the Brisa, we learned, the Mishnah teaches what the Brisa says, like this. Para shezika talis, a para, a cow which damages, which let's say trampled on a talis, and it damaged the talis. V'talis shezika para, or let's say the talis damaged the para. In other words, somebody put, let's say, a talis on a shusarabim, and now he slipped, an animal got hurt. So ein emrim teitze para lepatalis. We don't say, and the Beis Din should take the cow which damaged, even if it's more worth than the nezek, and give, let's say, the nizek in exchange of the talis, right? So let's say you have the cow damage the talis. Oh, you damaged my talis, so give me the cow. We don't say that. And also the talis of para, when it comes to the talis hurting the para, even if it's worth a lot more than the para, we don't make an exchange. We evaluate the para of the talis, b'dama with money. How much money did the talis hurt, or how much money did it damage you? And then he has to pay. Next part of the Gemara. Shava kesef, we said shava kesef, tanar rabbanan. It says like this. We learned in a Brisa, we learned in the Mishnah. Shava kesef, when we say shava kesef, elam shem Beis Din is kokin, it means that Beis Din does not go down to the nechosim of the mazik to collect the choiv, el nechosim sheyesh ben achrayis. They only take away, which we said many times, what does that mean? Nechosim sheyesh ben achrayis is karka. They don't take away metaltalin. Avim kodem nizik v'tafas metaltalin. But if the nizik went ahead and grabbed away metaltalin, then Beis Din gavin loy mehen. Beis Din collects the choiv from it. Amar Mar, Shava Kesem, Melamish and Beis Din is kokin el nechosim sheyesh ben achrayis. It means that the Beis Din takes karka. My mashma. How do you see Shava Kesef means karka? Amar Rabbi Bar Ula, it says Davar Shava Kol Kesef. When we say Shava Kesef, it means that you're paying something in exchange of money. So my niu, what's something that we pay money for? Davar she'en loy inos, things that don't have cheating. In other words, something that you can't really be cheat. So karka, even if you pay a lot more than it's worth, the sale is not batal. And the moichet does not have to pay, doesn't have to give you back the money. Shekem and taltalin, there is cheating if let's say you cheat a guy more than a 6, etc. Now, Friday Gemara, avodim shtaris nami and no. Avodim shtaris also is no. If let's say a purchaser bought an eved or a shtar more than it's worth, the mekach is not batal, and from the Brisa's mashma that the Beis Din only collects from the chasim sheish no machrayis. In other words, karka, and not avodim shvaris. So we see that karka is called shava kesef. Now, Rabbi Bar Ula now goes and says like this. Elam Rabbi Bar Ula, he says, davar nikne mekesef. It means, shava kesef means something which is bought with money, which means not with meshicha. Now, what's bought with money, not meshicha, is money, is karka, yeah, is property. So, avodim shtaris nami nikne mekesef. The cheda avodim shtaris also is bought with money, not meshicha. And from the Brisa's mashma, that only we saying karka is shava kesef. Ravashi says shava kesef means shava kesef v'loy kesef. It means karka, which is not similar to kesef, because money you accept anywhere, and mashikim property you can't just move it around. And v'hanu kulu and the rest of the metaltalin like avodim shtaris kesef ninu are similar to kesef, because you just like money you could take from place to place, so you could take it place to place. Okay, a few more minutes. Rami later Yehuda Bar Chanina Yehuda Bereid Yeshua. He asked the question. Tana, it says in the Brisa Shava Kesef. What do I learn from Shava Kesef? We said that the Beis Din comes and collects the chayiv from property, from real estate. By Tanya, we learned in another Brisa in regards to the Parsha of Bur, the pasuk says Bal Habar Yishalem Kesef. That says Yoshiv L'Bayla. We brought this pasuk down a few times. Yoshiv, which means we said the rabbis comes that the mazik can even pay number one Shava Kesef and Afilu Subin, even brand, and he doesn't have to pay with money. So what do we see? That the mazik collect from the mazik, metaltalin, and not only karka. So my answer is Hachamay Askinan. We're talking about biyasmi. The Mishnah is talking about the Yusaimim that pays the chayv of their father. Over there, Beis Din only collects from karka. Why? Because metaltalin of Yusaimim are not mishtabet to the Baal Chayv. But the mazik himself, you can collect from metaltalin. If we're talking about Yusaimim, look at the Sefer of the Brisa. What does the Brisa say? If the nizik goes and grabs metaltalin, Beis Din can collect it. Now, if we're talking about Yusaimim, Amai Beis Din gave a man. Why would Beis Din collect it? Metaltalin of Yusaimim is not mishtabet to the Baal Chayv. So it doesn't help if the nizik is teifasit. So my answer is Kedam Rav Nachman. He answers that shetafas mechayim, that he grabbed it while the guy was still alive. Hachanami shetafas, the nizik grabbed it from the chayim and then he died. So in that case, he can collect from the metaltalin. Last part, b'fnei Beis Din, the Mishnah said that in front of the Beis Din. So the Gemara understands that the karka that the Beis Din collects from the mazik has to be in Beis Din. It has to be in the hands of the mazik. So the Gemara says prat l'meichin achasav to exclude if he sold his property. And then they go to the Beis Din. Since he sold his property, the Beis Din can't collect from the lekech. Shmami, no. What do we see from here? Lavo mochin achasav. If a person now borrowed and then sold his property, rachach bal the Beis Din, then they come to Beis Din, and Beis Din gave them in a hand, he cannot collect it. Ella. Now, and we know that's not true because the halach is that somebody that a malvo collects, and then if the guy sells his property, he could collect the property. Now you must say that the din of knossos is a din of Beis Din mumchim, prat the Beis Din hadyetes, and the Beis Din hadyetes cannot collect knossos. Okay, atkan.